Love is one of the most studied, misunderstood, romanticized, and psychologically complex experiences in human life. When people ask, "Are we truly meant to be together?" they are not just asking a romantic question, they're asking a psychological one. They are asking whether their emotional systems, attachment patterns, values, nervous systems, histories, and future visions align in a way that creates long-term harmony rather than temporary chemistry. The idea of being meant to be is not magic. It is not fate written in the stars. From a psychological perspective, it is the alignment of attachment styles, emotional regulation capacities, communication patterns, values, goals, and mutual growth orientation. It develops over time through shared experiences, vulnerability, trust building, and consistent behavior. Human beings evolve to bond. Our brains release oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin in response to connection. Our nervous system seeks safety in familiarity. Our subconscious looks for patterns that resemble early caregivers, sometimes in healthy ways, sometimes in destructive ones. When two people are truly meant to be together, it is not because they feel intense passion alone, but because their psychological systems cooperate rather than collide. The first sign that two people are truly meant to be together is emotional safety. Emotional safety means you can express thoughts, fears, anger, and vulnerability without fear of humiliation or abandonment. When someone feels emotionally safe, their nervous system relaxes, their tone softens, their body language opens. They maintain eye contact comfortably. Psychologically, this reveals secure attachment. It shows that both partners are regulating each other's stress responses rather than triggering them constantly. When emotional safety is absent, people filter their words, hide their fears, suppress needs, and walk on eggshells. This suppression builds resentment and anxiety over time. Another sign is conflict resolution without character assassination. Every couple argues. What matters is how they argue. If disagreements stay focused on the issue, rather than turning into personal attacks, this indicates emotional maturity and prefrontal cortex engagement rather than amygdala hijacking, when someone can say, "I felt hurt when you did that." Instead of "you always ruin everything," it reveals emotional intelligence and self-awareness. When someone cannot handle disagreement without escalating, shutting down, or threatening the relationship, it often reveals unresolved trauma, fear of abandonment, or insecure attachment patterns. A powerful sign of compatibility is mutual growth. When two people inspire each other to improve rather than shrink, that is psychological synergy. If your partner celebrates your ambition, encourages your learning, and feels proud of your progress, it indicates abundance, mindset, and internal security. If instead they feel threatened by your success, minimize your goals, or subtly sabotage your progress, this reflects insecurity and fear of being left behind. Being meant to be together does not mean staying the same forever. It means evolving in ways that remain aligned. Another sign is comfort in silence. Many relationships survive on constant stimulation, entertainment, distractions. Psychological depth shows itself in silence. If you can sit together without anxiety, without needing to fill every moment with noise, it means your nervous systems are synchronized. Silence becomes connection rather than emptiness. When silence feels awkward or threatening, it often reveals dependency on external validation rather than internal security. Respect is another fundamental sign. Respect shows in small behaviors: listening without interrupting, remembering preferences, honoring boundaries, and speaking about your partner positively when they are not present. Respect reflects recognition of the other person as a separate individual with autonomy. When someone dismisses your opinions, mocks your emotions, or ignores your limits, it signals dominance-based relating rather than partnership-based relating. True compatibility involves a quality of psychological worth. Shared values form the invisible architecture of long-term love. Attraction can be instant, but values reveal themselves over time. How do both partners view money, family, loyalty, spirituality, ambition, lifestyle? If values align, decisions become easier. If values clash deeply, the relationship becomes a constant negotiation of identity. When someone compromises core values repeatedly, they may begin to lose their sense of self, leading to internal conflict and emotional exhaustion. A sign of being truly meant to be together is the ability to repair after emotional injury. All couples hurt each other unintentionally. What matters is repair. If apologies are sincere, behavioral changes follow words, and accountability exists, trust deepens. If apologies are manipulative, defensive, or absent, resentment accumulates. Repair demonstrates empathy, perspective-taking, and emotional responsibility. Physical affection that feels comforting rather than obligatory is another sign. Touch regulates the nervous system. A hug can lower cortisol. Holding hands can reduce anxiety. When physical closeness feels natural, it reflects emotional bonding. When it feels forced, avoided, or used only transactionally, it may reveal emotional disconnection or unresolved resentment. Another key sign is consistent effort. Love is not sustained by feelings alone, but by behavior. If both partners consistently invest time, attention, and energy, it signals commitment. Inconsistent effort often reveals ambivalence or avoidance. When someone only shows up when convenient, it indicates priority imbalance. A healthy relationship also includes individuality. Being meant to be together does not mean merging identities completely. It means maintaining personal hobbies, friendships, and growth while choosing each other daily. If one partner demands isolation or control, it signals insecurity. Love allows independence without perceiving it as threat. Emotional responsiveness is another profound sign. When you share something meaningful, does your partner respond with curiosity and empathy, or do they dismiss it? Emotional responsiveness builds intimacy. Dismissiveness erodes it. A partner who remembers your fears and checks in later demonstrates. Attunement, laughter, and shared humor also matter deeply. Humor reduces stress and creates bonding through shared neural activation. Couples who laugh together build resilience against hardship. If humor becomes sarcastic, cruel, or belittling, it reflects passive aggression rather than connection. Trust without surveillance is a strong indicator of compatibility. If you do not feel the need to check phones, test loyalty, or constantly seek reassurance, it suggests security. Chronic suspicion often reflects past betrayal, trauma, or projection of one's own insecurities. Another sign is aligned future vision. When you discuss the future, do your images complement each other? Do you both imagine similar lifestyles, timelines, priorities? If one wants stability and the other craves constant unpredictability, friction becomes inevitable. Emotional regulation. Compatibility is subtle but powerful. Some people react explosively under stress. Others withdraw completely. If both partners understand and respect each other's coping styles, harmony is possible. If one triggers the other repeatedly without repair, the relationship becomes a stress amplifier rather than a refuge. Being truly meant to be together also shows in vulnerability reciprocity. If one partner shares deeply while the other remains, guarded imbalance develops. Mutual vulnerability creates depth. One-sided vulnerability creates emotional loneliness. Support during adversity reveals real compatibility. When life becomes difficult, job loss, illness, family issues, does your partner step closer or drift away? True alignment shows itself. In crisis response, healthy jealousy levels are also important. Mild jealousy can signal value and attachment. Extreme jealousy indicates insecurity and fear. Complete indifference may suggest emotional detachment. Another sign is the ability to celebrate each other without competition. If your partner feels joy at your achievements, it indicates internal stability. If they subtly compete or shift focus back to themselves, it may reveal ego fragility. Compatibility also appears in decision-making rhythm. Do you collaborate? Do you consult each other? Or does one dominate? Balanced power dynamics predict long-term satisfaction. Comfortable authenticity is another deep sign. If you can be imperfect, tired, emotional, and still feel loved, That is psychological safety. If you feel pressured to perform a role constantly, exhaustion follows. Forgiveness capacity also matters. Holding grudges indicates unresolved pain and cognitive rumination. Letting go, when appropriate, reflects emotional flexibility. Aligned. Intimacy expectations are crucial. Differences in affection style, sexual frequency, or love language can create tension if unaddressed. When openly discussed and negotiated, they strengthen the bond. Another sign is mutual admiration. Admiration fuels respect and long-term desire. When admiration fades, contempt can grow, and contempt is one of the strongest predictors of relationship. Breakdown shared meaning is deeply psychological. Couples who feel they are building something together, whether family, business, creative life, or shared mission, develop stronger bonds than those drifting without shared purpose. Emotionally, consistency is vital. Predictable kindness builds trust. Unpredictable mood swings create anxiety. Lastly, feeling calm rather than constantly anxious around your partner is one of the clearest signs. Love should feel like stability, not constant emotional chaos. When these signs are absent, psychological consequences emerge. Chronic anxiety, low self-esteem, decision paralysis, emotional burnout, depression, and identity confusion can result from incompatible or toxic dynamics. People may become hypervigilant, overanalyze texts, lose productivity, withdraw socially, or develop attachment trauma responses. Psychologists analyze such relationships through observation of interaction cycles, communication, tone, nonverbal cues, emotional triggers, attachment histories, and cognitive distortions. We examine how each partner narrates conflicts. We notice whether blame dominates or responsibility balances. We observe body posture, microexpressions, defensiveness, and avoidance patterns. We explore childhood attachment models because often we unconsciously recreate familiar dynamics. Ultimately, being truly meant to be together is not destiny, it is compatibility reinforced by intentional effort. It is two nervous systems learning to regulate together. It is two minds choosing growth over ego. It is two imperfect histories meeting with awareness rather than projection. Love that is psychologically aligned does not eliminate hardship. It transforms hardship into shared resilience. When two people are truly meant to be together, they do not feel trapped, diminished, or constantly uncertain. They feel expanded, understood, respected, and safe. And in psychological terms, that safety is the foundation upon which enduring love is built.